How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA DFS Picks. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joining you for the Valspar Championship Showdown Round 4 DraftKings edition. Okay, 3 rounds in, and we have a clear-cut two golfers at the top in Keegan Bradley and Sam Burns. Unfortunately, my video yesterday, I was talking about how Sam Burns was just doing everything with the putter, and that regression could turn into some backwards movement on the leaderboard, and that did not happen. So, DraftKings Showdown yesterday did not go so well, but here to take accountability for the losses and hopefully gain some in wins for tomorrow. Looking at the 10K up top, I like Victor Hovland, 10-1. 4-2 on the approach, 5.7 ball striking, 1.5 putting. Kind of came in a pretty good bounce back in round 3. Didn't really impress too much as he stumbled his way into the cut, but he really had an impressive Saturday, and I think that can carry over into Sunday. These elite golfers, when they get going, they typically continue to do so. JT at 10K, 6.1 on the approach. Second in the field, tee to green with 12 strokes gained. I mean, still losing about 6.5 strokes putting. It's just mind-boggling that JT could honestly be leading this golf tournament if he had anything with the putter going. Clearly, this just, nowhere to be found on the greens. I think it makes for a great GPP play because, hey, what if he figures out the putting stroke? It could lead to a massive low round. So we'll see what happens with JT. But the ball striking is definitely there. Personally, when it comes to roster construction for this event, for tomorrow, I don't really think I want to go into Hovland and JT. I don't feel like it's a necessary step in my roster construction. As we know, finishing position matters in. I think the only way for them to pay off their price or be relevant in Showdown is if they go super low. So I think that's GPP only. I think it's Flyer City, and I'd like to get as many of these 9K golfers in my lineup as possible. Starting off with Joaquin Niemann at 9,800, 2.6 on the approach, 4.3 ball striking so far, and he's gaining a lot of strokes with his putter. So that's pretty cool to see. Niemann's not really a good putter, but he seems to be playing very well. He's in a pretty decent position to make a run atop the leaderboard. He's a golfer that can go extremely low at times, so I'd like to see the approach numbers be a little bit better, but Niemann's certainly capable of having a low round and paying off his salary and finishing inside the top 3. I do like Charlie Hoffman more, 9,600, 5.3 on the approach, 6.8 tee to green. Been playing super consistent as of late. Been playing well each week, so that's a little bit more sample size that we have rather than Niemann. Charlie Hoffman is just due for the winner's circle here soon. Is his day tomorrow? We'll see. I think he might be a little bit too far back to achieve it, but certainly a golfer that can finish inside the top 5, score a lot of birdies, and make sure he pays off that price tag. I do like Jason Kokrak, but at this point, I think it's a little bit of a GPP play. He is capable of anything on the golf course, but that being not far back, but 11th is probably not within range of winning. And with his price tag at 94, I kind of want to see a top 2, but that's going to be really hard to do tomorrow unless he goes super low. But I mean, if you can stretch your lineup into having someone like Kokrak and then Hoffman and then one of the 2 guys of Burns and Bradley, I think if you can make that work, then I think it's worth it, but it might be stretching your lineup a little too thin. Sam Burns at 9,200 and Keegan Bradley at 9,100. These are our leaders heading into the final round. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to continue to fade Sam Burns and see if it works. 2.2 around the green and 7.2 putting has kind of been his jam. He's not really lighting it up off the tee or, with the approach. He's just doing enough to make sure that he doesn't completely, take himself out of this tournament. If the putter goes away, I mean, Burns can be shooting even par or worse. We've seen some guys at the top of the leaderboard take a really giant step backwards. Sanjay M, for instance, guys that were in contention just kind of just faltered, and then they just shot down the leaderboard in a hurry. I think that could happen to someone like Burns if he's not careful, and if his putter doesn't continue to be nuclear, then it could be adios. And I'm willing to take that bet, but if you know, I'm a tournament player, mostly in Showdown, but if I'm doing cash, I'm probably going to play Burns and Bradley because, pushing themselves to each other, each of themselves into probably trying to score as low as they can. But their head-to-head tomorrow could pave the way for someone else. So we'll see. I'm going to fade Burns, and I'm going to play Keegan Bradley because he is leading the field tee to green 12.4, 6.9 on the approach, gaining 1.7 on the putting green too. I just feel like if Keegan Bradley's first to tee to green and he's gaining strokes putting, that he's going to win. And I'd like to see him win. It's definitely someone we play a lot on tour in our certain spots, but be cool to see Keegan get back to the winner's circle, continue the trends of 2021 of comeback seasons and comeback victories for guys that have been in winning droughts. Abe Answer is a guy that I'd hope to steal the show at 9K, 7.7 putting, 2.9 ball striking, but certainly a guy that might not have enough. But the 9K price tag, I'd say, would be better than playing Neiman. So I don't mind Answer. I think I'm going to be able to stretch him into some lineups, but the guy I like more is 8K, Max Homa at 8,800, 4.8 on the approach, 7 ball striking, and 6.1 putting. So he's doing it all out there. He's certainly having himself an incredible year, winner of the Genesis Invitational. So he definitely has that closing mentality. As we know, we follow Max Homa on social media. He's really feeling himself right now, and I'm certainly going to have him in a lot of my lineups, probably a core play tomorrow. Cameron Tringali at 8,600. I like that for GPPs. And if we've been listening along in Showdown videos throughout the course of the year, then we know the rivalry between Tim Knotts and rostering Scotty Scheffler. I hate to say it, but I like Scotty Scheffler tomorrow. 8,500, 4.3 on the approach, 6.9 ball striking. He's doing just enough on the putting green. I think he could go low, and we've seen him post really low numbers. I like the price tag at 85. If I play Scotty Scheffler tomorrow, we all know that you guys don't. But if I don't play Scotty Scheffler tomorrow, you guys do. So I think I'm going to have a little bit of them. So fade, please, because my jinx on Scotty Scheffler is legendary. He just does the complete opposite of what I expect every time I go to roster him. The guy you'll play instead is Louis Oosthuizen at 8,400, 4.5 on the approach, 4.3 putting, continuing to have a decent year and gaining on his success. Louis and Charles here in the bottom half of the 8K range. I like them. They're having a good bounce back from the missed opportunity of winning last week in a playoff in the team event at the Zurich Classic. So I think both of them are fairly decent plays. Bubba Watson, a couple old guys here in this 7K range that I like. 2.7 on the approach, 5 strokes tee to green, 2.5 putting. I really like Bubba tomorrow. I think he's a really good value. I don't see any holes in the game right now as far as statistics go. It seems like the videos are looking good in the highlights. So I'm in on Watson. Brandt Snedeker at 7,600. I think that's another name that could really pan out. 2.6 in the approach. He's going to gain strokes with his putter, and when he's gaining strokes with the putter, he's going to high finish on the leaderboard with that combination of approach. So I think Brandt Snedeker is going to continue to have success. Matthew Neesmith, Camilo Villegas, and Jonathan Vegas, I think, are also good plays to round out those 7K value plays to do so in your lineup. 6K, I got a couple of names I can rattle off here, but the favorite is Bo Van Pelt, mid-price, 6.3 tee to green, 3.6 on the approach. Certainly found a little bit of form here. I'm gonna play Bo Van Pelt. Is gonna probably be a big part of getting it multiple shots at that 9K and 8K range. So he is the key to unlock all of that roster construction. So Bo Van Pelt, Max Homa, probably two guys that I'm going to have heavily in my lineups tomorrow. And then for random flyers in the 6K range, I don't mind Wyndham Clark, JB Holmes, Danny Lee, Bronson Burgoon, and I'm out on Ted Potter. 7.9 strokes gained on the putting green. He's not going to go nuclear like that every time he goes out. But that will do it. So thank you for listening in. Thank you for joining me for the Valspar Championship. John and I will return next week, and I'm not sure the event. I have to check the schedule. But preview will come out tomorrow, and pick show on Monday as always. Guys, thank you. Comment below for any questions, and like this video, and follow our sports channel at Fantasy Sports Insight. All right, take care, guys.